The Laker fans really did nothing wrong here over the past couple of days. It's more of the franchise. We all kind of knew this was coming. They fired head coach Darvin Ham after only 2 seasons, had an above 500 record, and made it to the Western Conference Finals. Only lost to one team in the Denver Nuggets twice. And not only that, they fired the entire coaching staff, all the assistant coaches, everyone involved with Darvin Ham, whether they were there before or after he got here, are out the door. They're in the fun employment line. I'll go to you, Gio, since you used to be a Lakers fan because of wild Russell Westbrook used to play there.
Yeah.
I know you weren't too fond with Darvin Ham, but I feel like this was a bit harsh. I need your thoughts on just Darvin Ham first.
Well, never really liked Darvin Ham, as I said previously. Never was a huge fan of him, but I just feel like this wasn't his fault. The reason why they lost the series, it wasn't his fault. It's the way the team was constructed. I think it's more so on the players that were on the court. They just couldn't match up with the Nuggets, and it's nothing you can do as a head coach. You can't get out there and play for the team. All you can do is coach from the sideline. So I don't think it's on Darvin Ham. I think he's a pretty decent coach, actually. And I think he actually overachieved last year. And this year, you happen to run into the Nuggets first round, so unfortunate. But yeah, what do you think?
I think the one element that we're all coming back to with the teams that are eliminated now, whether it be the Suns, the Lakers now, I don't think the Clippers as much, but I think this is a front office ownership issue. Rob Pelinka, Genie Bus, I think a lot of it, relies on Pelinka for how he constructed this team. I think Darvin Ham accomplished above standards and above expectations last year. This year, obviously, the way the dominoes fell to him was the Nuggets, and that was it. If they would have lost that first playing game, they would have played
Sacramento because they beat the Warriors. And if they would have won that game, they go to OKC, who they were 3-1 against this year.
Yeah.
And it's a more young and experienced team compared to the Nuggets, who are battle tested.
It's a big risk if they lose that first game and then you get Sacramento. Who knows what's going to happen in just one game. So, but I think OKC, they probably would have had a better shot of getting that series. But you can't rely on the what-ifs. They wanted that game. They wanted Denver, and that's what they got.
Right.
But
you can't mess around with one-offs.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
You cannot.
No.
Plus, it looks bad if you do, because if you're trying to win the finals, more than likely you have to play the Nuggets at some point, or even if you play the Timberwolves or whoever, they probably got through the Nuggets anyways, so they're good enough as it is. Yeah. But I'm a little perplexed in the sense of the decision by the team, because obviously fans will always go at the head coach. Obviously, if you lose to a team 11 times out of the last 12, that's a problem. I understand it. But, to me, outside of the Nuggets and the Timberwolves, I think the Lakers had a fair shot against anyone in the West.
Yeah.
I think with LeBron in the playoffs in the first round, when he's fully rested, it was possible. And I think the one glaring thing with Darvin Ham that I noticed that kind of leads me to believe that it was a harsh decision firing him. You notice a lot throughout the NBA over the past couple of years. When a coach gets fired, that you've completely lost the team, you lose the locker room. Even the Nets this year, they were not playing for Jacque Vaughn. They were going out there giving half-ass efforts, and you've seen it across the board everywhere. Even the Suns in Game 4 with Frank Vogel. Not that it's Frank Vogel's fault. That's a totally different rabbit hole we can go down that we've already talked about. But when did you see this Laker team throw in the towel? When did you see them give up? To me, they were in every game with the Nuggets.
Yeah.
I don't think
that was true.
They won one of those games, and you never saw a lack of effort. Right. You always saw the urgency, the desperation. And look, could this be a LeBron problem? Could this be a Rob Pelinka problem, a Genie Bus problem? Who the fuck knows? We don't know. Do we really care? Not really. But at the same time, it's coaches get fired for way sort of worse than this.
Yeah.
Coaches get extended for for worse than this. The Nets gave Jacque Vaughn an extension after getting swept by the Sixers. Mm-hmm. So it's a little perplexing. I understand the reasonings as to why they could consider it, but the fact that they went in and just did it is a little bit strange.
Yeah, it feels like they said it was going to happen within the week. It seems like their mind was set to me that after that loss, he was gone. They didn't even have time to just think about it a few days, and that was it. And going back to Gio saying it's a player issue, I know Darvin Ham also made a comment to the media. Either it was after the game or after he got fired, but he called out one of the starters.
AD, right?
First, I don't know if it was AD, but
I think he called out AD.
He was saying, I really can't do much when one of your starters is shitting the bed for 6 games straight.
Well, he wasn't talking about AD. I think he was talking about D'Lo.
D'Lo.
But
I don't think it was AD at all.
After game 2, when the Nuggets made the 20-point comeback, Anthony Davis said there's times where we don't know what we're doing.
Interesting.
And a lot of Lakers brass did not like that. Obviously, you're going to side with AD because AD's a superstar. He's an all-star. But I remember Stephen A. had said on NBA Today or NBA Countdown, one of the 2 shows, that once he said that, he knew Darvin Ham was done.
Wow.
Regardless of what happened. They could have won the series and lost in the second round. I still think he would have gone.
Really? Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, you got.
Can I play devil's advocate
Go for it.
here?
I'm ready to debate.
So, I'm going to argue that Darvin Ham should have got fired. Okay, so they were in the game most of the games, right? They were like, either leading. Actually, they led like most of the games, right?
They were leading
for
for
100-something minutes compared to 41 minutes.
Yes.
There were
Something
also
like
reports, I'm sorry to cut you off, that after that, the leading game 2 that they gave up was 20+. That's when they knew Ham was gone.
Yeah, that's when AD said the thing after the game. That was in the post-game press conference. Yeah.
That's when the Lakers front office said, he's gone.
Right. But go ahead, Gio.
Yeah, so basically, the Lakers were leading most of the series. We know that. We saw a stat that said like 140-something minutes compared to 41 minutes of the Lakers leading against the Nuggets.
Right.
But when it comes to coaching, when it comes to the close games in the fourth quarter, that's when your coach shines the most. I think so.
Right.
Because that's when coaching in details, play calls get really serious down to the wire. And so maybe it was in those situations where Darvin Ham could not handle the situation is the reason why they fired him. They're like, okay, so he's good, but he's not going to bring us over the top. He's not going to get us a championship because he folded in those moments when we needed him to rise.
Right.
So maybe that was their logic.
Well, let me put it to you this way. Let's say the Nuggets don't exist, right? Last year, I think they get to the NBA Finals if they did not have to play the Nuggets, right? I think if they played Phoenix, I think they easily handle them. And then you go to the Finals against Miami, which is a team I think they could have beat, right? 2 play-in teams that were counted out and were led by 2 playoff risers, Jimmy Butler and LeBron James. So there's always that. And then this year, I think, like I said, outside of Denver and Minnesota, I think they probably could have beaten the other teams. And the fact that they fired him after that short of a sample size, when you've already overachieved, you were the first and second. You were one of the first 2 teams from the play-in to the conference finals. We don't know how often that's going to happen. As it is, none of the play-in teams got out of the first round this year. So while I understand you struggled against the Nuggets, that team could become a potential dynasty. So at the end of the day, I don't really know if there was much more he could have done.
Right.
I think there were things he could have tightened up on. But at the end of the day, your players were going to war for you. They weren't giving up. He still had the locker room.
Were they going to war for him or were they going to war for LeBron? Let's be honest.
We don't know. That's the thing.
I think they're going to war for LeBron.
Certain players may have different opinions. Like someone like AD was definitely playing for Bron.
Yeah.
Someone like D'Lo was playing for Darvin Ham.
You think so?
Yes, because Darvin Ham backed him.
Okay.
So if a coach backs you, you're going to back your coach.
But D'Lo did say like he didn't care what Darvin Ham had to say. He knows that he's confident, whether or not
that's just
Darvin
a player
Ham,
being confident in himself.
Okay.
Because if you lose confidence, then you're screwed.
True.
You need to have confidence in yourself. I think Darvin Ham's just the extra oomph.
Gotcha.
So, and look, do I think Darvin Ham could have led the Lakers to a championship last year during the circumstances? Maybe if the Nuggets weren't there. But I don't think he could have led them to a championship, which I could understand why they fired him. But you at least had to give him one more chance.
You think so?
Yes.
Yeah.
With LeBron descending, right?
Right.
You think there's enough time to give him one more chance? Or do you have to grab Tyronn Lue? Or do you have to go for somebody else?
Right. I mean, we think LeBron's going to come back, but we don't know.
Right.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
And that's why it's a little bit perplexing. And I do think Darvin Ham will be a prominent name in coaching vacancies going forward. He should be.
Yeah.
If not, he'll be probably an assistant coach somewhere in the league. He's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I think another question we're going to see if Ham does get a job somewhere, whether Charlotte, Cleveland, they move on from their coach, but now they advanced any other position, and he succeeds there fairly well. We could go back to the combo saying, is this really Darvin Ham, his problem in LA, or is it the players and the front office? I think we'll have that answer if he does get another job somewhere else.
I hope he goes somewhere small market.
Yeah,
I think
agree.
I think he's a good mind. I think they didn't give him enough to go out there. I think the team they put on the court this year was not balanced at all with what they were trying to do. They needed, I think D'Lo, of course, needs to go. I was saying that. Reeves is still there. They're going to have some things to do in the offseason to let the new coach coming in know that we're giving you time with this to go. I'm sorry, I just hear.
No, it's okay. But
I think they need whatever coach comes in,
right.
whether it's a veteran, new guy. JJ Redick's a hot name out there. First coaching gig if he gets the Lakers, big task. That does happen. They're gonna have to give him time and give him the players that he wants on that team and have the input. That's I think how he's gonna succeid. You got to give him some say in things.
I think the Lakers can't win with LeBron and AD as their core anymore. I'm just gonna put that out there.
Yeah.
But I do want to ask you guys a question. I want to ask how much influence or how much say did LeBron James have in this firing of Darvin Ham?
I think
how much say?
I think he had something to do with.
I think a fair amount.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're obviously gonna say it's not, but we all know the GM is a thing, right? We know Rob Pelinka does his job, but we know LeBron has equity in that.
For sure.
No matter what team he's on, even though LeBron technically is not, he might not even be on the Lakers next year, he still has a say in everything. And, I'm not saying he was the one that initiated it, but they definitely went to him.
They brought it to him for sure.
And he probably gave him the thumbs up or the thumbs down. And at the end of the day, what the GM wants, the GM's going to get. And that's kind of the thing with LeBron.
Yeah.
He'll go to a team and he'll enforce his will on things. And when it's all broken, off he goes.
Yeah.
And they're just in purgatory for the next 5-6 years. So that's why the Heat are the only team that have rebounded, really, because Pat Riley put his foot down. And he didn't fire Eric Spoelstra when LeBron wanted him gone. So
yeah, which is, sticking by your guy for so long.
Exactly.
Spoelstra's, would be a name I would like to see outside of Miami.
But have they won another championship?
I don't.
I want him to still be in Miami, but they got the two finals farther than.
But have they won them?
Yeah.
If they kept LeBron, would they have won again? I think so.
Well, it depends on who else was there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look the LeBron, they played LeBron in the first finals, and they played Jokic in the second finals. So, two very difficult opponents to get past in the playoffs. But yeah, we wish Darvin Ham the best.
Yeah.
Hopefully he can get hired. Same thing with the rest of the Lakers assistant coaches.
Yeah.
They're freed from all scapegoating. So